What's up guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Adam and I'm talking about computers. In this episode I will be talking about the interesting subject, which is upgrades. It's 2021, maybe you are thinking about buying a new computer because you think your current one is very sluggish and you want to improve something. The easiest way of course is to just go to the store and buy the new computer, but not all of us we can do that. I'm gonna show you in the easiest way how to upgrade your current computer. At first I thought I will be talking about every possible part you can change in your computer, but this will be very long video, so in this part I will be talking only about the CPU, which is probably the most important thing in your computer. I don't want to argue with any of you. Graphic card is very important, memory is very important, everything is very important, but if you have a shit CPU, everything will be shit. So let's talk about that. I decided to make this video because I speak with many people and they struggle, they don't know, they are looking for an easy answer, and and this video will give you the easy answer. We are thinking about changing current CPU to something stronger, but the problem is which one, because you could end up with buying wrong one and this will not fit. I'm not talking about physically, the CPU will not fit your motherboard. I'm talking about the compatibility, and this is a huge problem. We have loads of motherboards. Those motherboards, they have different chipsets, so I have a real problem with deciding which processor you should buy. So alright, I wanna invite you to my computer and I will tell you exactly what you should check before you buy anything and how to do that. Let's go. Alright, so we wanna upgrade our CPU. First question, very important question, is what we have at the moment. Okay, so the easiest way is to click on this icon, press right button, go to properties, and you have your current CPU. But I would like you to install this one program because we will be talking about different stuff and this program will be very helpful. It's a very tiny program. I will put a link to that in the description below, and the program is called CPU-Z. Maybe you know it already. Okay, so please download that, install and run. So this program will tell you a lot of things, and for us in this part of the video the most important is CPU and motherboard. Here it's under mainboard, motherboard doesn't matter. So first you need to make a note of what CPU you currently have. Recently I changed my CPU from 8600K to this one, Core i7 9700K. So let's pretend for now that I have here 8600, okay? Because this will be easier for me to explain. Probably I should record this video before I've done it, but still doesn't matter. So here we have 8600K. So I'm making note of it, and now I'm going to this page and I need to make a note of my motherboard. This is a very important step. You need to write down the manufacturer and model number. And from now on it's very easy. Just open your browser, go to google.com, and first I want you to find your motherboard. So in my case manufacturer is ASRock, model number is Z370 Killer SLI. So what we are looking, we are looking for CPU support list. So to do that you need to go to manufacturer website, in my case is this first result. Don't go to stuff like this or Amazon or whatever. If your manufacturer is ASRock, you should have ASRock in the name of the site. If you have Gigabyte, it will be Gigabyte. If it is Asus, it will be Asus. MSI will be MSI. In my case, it's ASRock. So probably in your case will be the first result here. Okay, so we have a bunch of information here. We will be looking for something like support, CPU support list. So have a look. Let's go. Oh, it is here, support. And now this one. You have full list of CPU supported by your motherboard. Usually on the bottom we are talking about the simplest, cheapest, slowest CPUs. So we have something like Celeron, Pentium Gold, and now we have Core i3, Core i5, Core i7, Core i9. So on the top will be the most expensive but the fastest CPU. If we go down, it will be slower and cheaper. So again, you're looking for CPU. In my case it's this, but please remember, just for the purpose of this video, let's say it says 8600K. So what you're doing, Control F, 8600K, and it's here. And now I wanna do upgrade. I wanna have something faster. So tip number one, I just told you that CPU on the bottom are the slowest and CPU on the top are the fastest, but please remember, sometimes it's not working like that. For example, this processor here, which is above, it's not necessarily faster than my current here. I know this because I'm looking at it's called frequency. My current CPU is 3.6 GHz and this one is 2.9 GHz. So first of all, you will be looking at the CPUs above your current CPU on the list. And second tip, don't look at the CPUs with a lower frequency that you are using. So if this is mine, 3.6, I'm not interested in this. I could be potentially interested in this 3.7, but we don't want this. We are looking for something better. So if I have a Core i5, ideally I would like to have i7 or maybe even i9. So what I would do in this situation, first of all, because I don't want to spend too much money, I wanna check how much my current CPU is worth. To do that, simply I'm going to ebay.com, I'm putting my current CPU, and I am looking how much money I can get. I'm always doing this. Lowest price, buy it now, because I don't want to spend too much time looking at the bidding. Buy it now. Okay, so potentially I could have something around 150 pounds for that. Old CPU 8600K I could sell for 150 pounds. Okay, let's say I want to go crazy. I want to go with the fastest CPU here. So I could, in theory, have a look at this. Let's see how much does it cost. Wow, 600 with a postage. Okay, let's find something only in UK. Wow, we are talking about 700 pounds. Okay, so this is not me. I'm not gonna spend 700 pounds for this, but maybe you're okay with this. Maybe you're using computer for work, and the money it's not that big deal for you. So yeah, you could just buy that. But maybe you are more like me. You want better CPU, but you don't want to pay that kind of money, because even if you sell old one for 150, we are still talking about 550 pounds extra to pay. Okay, so what else I can have? Please remember, frequency is very important, so I'm not looking at this one, 3.1. In some cases the CPU would be more, it will be beneficial, but that depends. But I'm not gonna go too deep in that subject right now. In this video I just wanna focus on upgrading CPU from compatibility side of it. So okay, I already know that Core i9, they will be freaking expensive. They will be. Maybe. Okay, let's have a look at this one. KF, how much for that? 373. Okay, that's more like it. What else? This is only cases, I mean boxes, empty boxes. 300 plus 4 quid for delivery, 304. Okay, I like it. So in my case would be something around 154 extra. I'm selling my old one for 150. I'm adding 154 and I have much better CPU. Okay, I choose this one. Have a look. This is my old new CPU. Core i7 9700K. I paid for it, I forgot how much, I think 250. Yeah, I paid around 250, so I bought i7 9700K for 250 pounds. So that means I paid extra 100 pounds only. Why this is a good choice, I will show you now. This is very easy. Use Google again. Put your old CPU with the CPU you are thinking you will buy. In my case, my old one versus 9700K. And from that point, you have lots of stuff. You have videos, you have articles, you have people talking on forums. You have a lot of information. You can compare what you can gain, what you will lose. So I am using computers for two things: for work and for games. I'm not a pro, so I don't need really processor that is the best of the best, because I don't want to spend too much money. So I was just looking for improvement for my current specification, and I'm looking for improvement in both categories, games and the workload. So I don't want to go too deep into that subject, but 8600 is a 6-core CPU and 9700K is a 8-core CPU. So I'm gaining 2 more cores, and this gives you huge benefit. Okay, so we have results here. This looks good. Let's have a look. Let's compare this. So in this video, this guy, I like it already. First of all, he's talking about differences. Socket is the same, obviously, because in other case I would not talk about this. We have 6 cores versus 8, and we have frequency higher. In turbo mode that goes to 4.9, and mine old one was going only 4.3. I was overclocking the old one anyway, but this is different subject. More memory, this is very important as well, and everything else is pretty the same. Okay, so let's have a look. So this guy is making some tests. Cinebench, one of the most common tests for CPUs. This test will not lie, this will show you exactly what's going on. So 9700 is much faster. Just have a look at this. Simple. Those two values are very similar because it's checking only the performance of the single core red one. And because they are both working with frequency 5 GHz, the value will be pretty the same. But multi-core, 2 extra cores in this one gives you much more. We have some more benchmarks. For example, be careful, because sometimes less means better. So basically, how much time you need to waste to do this kind of a job. So, for example, 8600 will take 287 seconds compared to 221. Okay, and now let's have a look at the games. Assassin's Creed, blah blah blah. Okay, another tip. It's 2021 and this video is from 2018. Everything is changing, so it would be better to have a look at the video made recently, maybe in last 12 months. Let's have a look. Oh, we have from 2019, April. We have even from 2020. Let's have a look at this. Alright, okay, I can see what he's doing here. Okay. So what we have here, on the left you have an old CPU and the CPU you wanna buy. I wanna buy. So you have 8600 compared to this. You have 64 frames per second and 72. So what we have here, we have 59, 65, 57, 64. Okay, so we have almost 10 frames per second more, only just by having this CPU. If you are a gamer, you know that 10 frames per second, it's a lot. Decision at the end is yours. You know what to do. You know how to find the compatible CPU for your motherboard. And this is very beneficial because we are talking only about changing one thing in your computer. So in my case I was lucky because I was happy with the CPU that I was about to buy. I spent some time on Google having a look at the reviews and comparing them both, and I decided that for my work and especially for my budget, this choice is a very good choice. Other few extra things. Okay, let's have a look again at the CPU support list. And there is one more thing you need to consider. You see this BIOS and you have a number. This is very important. In my case, I was using this i5 8600K, and this motherboard was prepared for this CPU from the beginning because it says all versions, all means all versions of BIOS are ready for that CPU. But because I was changing to this one, 9700K, I was forced to upgrade current BIOS to at least 3.2. So I want to tell you this right now because you will watch this video and you will do what I just told you. You will find a CPU that is compatible. You will have a look at the Google and you will compare old versus new one. You will end it buying. You will install this on your motherboard, you will press start and nothing happens, because you need to change the firmware of your BIOS before you do anything. Before you buy a new CPU and everything, you need to make sure you have at least this version of BIOS in your main board. Because, for example, I had 1.5, so I was forced to update before I even do anything. To know exactly what version you have, again, we will go to the CPU-Z mainboard page, and here BIOS version 4.3. How to do upgrade? There is a lot of people talking about this on the internet, so I will just tell you quickly, because this is quite easy, to be honest. You are already here, you see your motherboard, you have a support, go to BIOS section, and now you have all versions of BIOS. If you need to change, just go with the newest version. In my case it's 4.3, and you have two choices. I don't like doing this under Windows operating system, because if this go wrong, you could have a lot of problems. So I'd rather do this. But this will work as well. I've done it in the past, it is working. I just simply don't like it because operating system could stop you, so things like antivirus or I don't know, something else will cause some problems, but should work. So you're looking for the newest version of your BIOS, this how to upgrade, choose Windows operating system, just download this, and the rest is very easy. Just install, next, yes, restart, and you're ready to go. Okay, you know what is your old CPU. You have a CPU support list for your motherboard. You know exactly what you can install, what is compatible. You need to have a look at the eBay and think how much money you want to spend. Then compare those two CPUs just by doing this, and and you're ready to go. The last thing I need to mention is, let's say you're looking at your CPU support list and your current CPU is somewhere here. So if you're in this case, if your CPU is on the top on the list, you cannot do too much. You hit your current limitation of your motherboard. So if you're in this case, if you're somewhere here, you need to consider changing not only CPU but also motherboard. But this is a huge step. If you are in this group that your CPU is here, stay tuned. I will be talking on this in the close future. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you like that and you found that interesting, consider subscribing. Stay tuned. Thank you. Bye.